So, in previous discussed video we discussed about the difference between national party and regional party, and we discussed the functions of political party. So from that we can assume, we understand how important these political parties are for a country or for a world. Now when these political parties, they do not come up to the expectation of the people, it becomes very pathetic for any country to move on very smoothly. They start doing the corruption, taking various illegal steps. So what can be done? What are the challenges that these political party faces? So we are going to learn about that challenges to political party, or explain various challenges that are faced by the political party. Under that we will have 4 topics. Each topic is important for 3 marks and the complete topic is important for 5 marks. So let's begin with the first challenge. Challenge number 1 is lack of internal democracy within parties. It means within a particular party also there is no tuning. All the members from top leader to active members, they are fighting within themselves. So as I have written, so therefore the power, overall power is concentrated in the hands of few people. We can say 5 to 10 people. They are the one who affects or take all the decisions in the political party. Second, there is no regular meetings held. There is no register kept for the membership. Why it is important? If meeting is held regularly, then all the members of the political party, they are knowing what is going on within the party. They can be active. But generally when meeting is taken, only the top leaders, they conduct the meeting and they are only aware what are the changes to be made or what are the steps for the betterment of the party. Ordinary members of the party, they are in darkness. And registration, this is one way to show the seniority. So later on, if the leader is to be elected on the basis of the seniority, this is very important. Then to elect their leader for the various area or maybe the president of the party, there should be regular elections within the party so that there is no favoritism or we don't face we can say dynastic succession. So by internal election, the members of the party, they can vote to whom they want as their leader. So that should be there, but generally it is not seen over here. Then as I discussed, the ordinary people, as they are not the part of the meeting, the power, paramount power is concentrated in the hand of the few people. Therefore ordinary people or the person or the member of the party, they are powerless. They cannot make any changes or they cannot affect the working of the party. So if any ordinary person of the party or maybe the active member of the party, he or she does not agree with the ideologies, with the views of the top authorities or those top 5 to 10 leaders, then in most of the cases such members are thrown out of the party. So what we conclude? Your loyalty to the party does not matter much. Your loyalty to the leader matters most. Start. Succession. This is the second challenge faced by the political parties in any democracy or across the world. First, it is very much related to the first challenge what we learned, that is lack of internal democracy. Why? Because normally it is found that the political parties, they do not show the sign of transparency. From transparency I mean that there is no legal procedure to elect the leaders, or maybe the active members who are given the charges of region, or we can say area wise. So when the procedure is not followed, it means transparency is not there. The leaders, the top leaders, they dominate the political decision. All the political decision related to the party is taken by the top authorities. Therefore, those who are very close to the leaders, they may be their friends or maybe their relatives, they get the advantage of this. Therefore, even though they may not have that potential, but still as they are their close friends or relatives, they get the ticket to stand from the particular constituency. So it means the party is controlled by a family. So it gives somewhat a picture of monarch or monarchy system, that is the rule of king. Okay, king will be ruling. Once he is not in a position, then his son and so on. So somewhat that familiar picture is seen over here. Next, if this system continues, that is ordinary person not getting the chance to come to the top position, though he or she may be the most liable candidate in the party, it is not good for democracy. It leads to unfair democracy. This problem is not limited to any one or two democracy. This is present all over the world, and even we can see among those countries which are among the oldest democracy of the world. Even in such countries also dynastic succession is seen. India, if we see the history of India, since independent 70 years Congress has ruled. And who is ruling? Nehru and Gandhi family. So that is the best example. Even if we see in Uttar Pradesh, Mulayam Singh, Samajwadi Party, he founded, later on his brother, now his son, even son's wife entered. So who is handling Samajwadi Party? Mulayam's family, Yadav family or friends. The third challenge to political party is money and muscle power. So as the name says, those people or the party that gets huge amount of money or is having, they dominate the elections. And this is especially seen when the election takes place. Let's take example of the movie Bhutanath Returns. In that one short scene is given how the villain Bhav, he spends crores and crores of rupees giving 1,000 to every poor person or labor person, making them drink, eat, and finally a day before lots of party. And what are the people asked? Bhav is asking lot of care, so you should vote to Bhav. Another example you might have seen in Singham Return, where the young students, young generation, they work for the party and they go village to village, and especially the labor category who are below poverty line, economically not sound enough, they are given 5,000 per member in the family. So what is this? The use of money to influence the people so that they vote to them. Another part of the money is for election, the rich people, they provide lot of fund to the political parties. So we can say the industrialist especially and the rich section of the society, they give huge fund to the political party. And what advantage they get? When the government comes to power, they influence the decision of the government. It means any decision government wants to make, they have to keep those ultra rich people in mind for making the decision or the law. So money is one of the shortcut method to come to power. Tickets are given to the rich person or the candidate whom they have given reference. So even a liable, a better person does not get the ticket in the party to stand. Second one is muscle power. Those people who are very influential in the society, because since generation they have been dominating the area, the society, or maybe have done 2-3 murders or illegal work. So people with such backgrounds, even they get the opportunity in various political party to stand in the elections. So ordinary person rarely dares to stand against such type of person. So again, this is the second shortcut method that is used by the political parties to win election, that is ticket is given to a person with such a domination or criminal background. So as it is increasing in democracy, it is a great concern for all the democracies across the world. If their influence keep on increasing, a free and fair democracy will not exist, or their existence will be very minimal. So we need to minimize the effect of money and muscle power in our democracy by awareness. The fourth challenge is no meaningful choice. Generally nowadays, what we are experiencing in last, we can say 10 years in every country. The political parties, though we have either two-party system in a country or a multi-party system in a country, but still the choice to the public or the people is very less. The ideologies of the parties, it is getting so similar, so much hodgepodge, people are not able to differentiate between the ideologies or the manifestos of the different parties. Let's take one example. In Britain, there is two-party system, right? Labour Party and Conservative. These are the two party in Britain. In initial stages, they were having the vast differences in their ideologies. But nowadays, it is very difficult for the people of Britain to find any difference or hardly minor difference is there in ideology. How they differ is only the implementation. Okay, how Labour Party implement and how Conservative Party implement. And sometimes when people think, okay, I am going to vote to the Conservative Party, the leader gets transferred to the Labour Party and the Labour Party leader gets transferred to Conservative Party. So getting a good choice becomes very, very difficult. Even the last 10 years in our country also the scenario is not much different. Even in India also, though we have the multi-party system, what is the scenario? Either the Congress comes to power or the BJP comes to the power. Though we have the multi-party system, but only two party has got the major chance to win the election and form the government. So that is even the same case in our country also.